Hello and welcome to Family DynamiKs. It's Katherine.
And Liz.
And John.
And today we have two special guests with us.
Very special.
Yes, we have Liz's mother-in-law, Jan, who has been here before. You want to say hi, Jan?
Hi.
And also Liz's husband, Mark. Hi, Mark.
Hey there.
Okay, so now everybody's been introduced. I've done my job. Take it away, Liz.
Oh, okay. So we are going to kind of pick up where we left off with Grand Jan.
Right, because we did one episode before. So
Right. And we call her Grand Jan because she is a grandmother to my son, Ethan.
And of course, her name is Jeanette.
Yeah. But
So Jan.
Or is it Jeanette? We've never really determined your age or your proper spelling of your name.
Right.
Because last time I think we discovered it was like 2 T's, 2 E's,
2 N's. It was madness.
Look at she's nodding.
I mean,
It'll never be solved.
I will say at the end of the last episode, you said you were going to bring in your birth certificate, but we didn't remind you, so it's not your fault that didn't happen.
You know what? It would have been shocking if she brought it. I think it would have been lost mysteriously. But we left off basically, Jan was living her single life, very desired by a lot of suitors, Fred in particular.
Right.
But she was being pursued, had no desire to be married, correct?
Right.
Yeah, no desire to be married. A very desired hairstylist in Hollywood, having a fabulous time. So her friend decided it's time for you to settle down, and she found the perfect guy for you to be set up with, which was Hal Roman.
Yes.
And so I guess where we left off, like I said, was he was calling the salon numerous times, trying to get you to agree on a date.
Yes.
And would you just ignore the phone call when it would come in?
No, I would just tell him no.
Oh, jeez.
Just no thanks. No.
Now, you didn't know because this is before the internet, people. So you couldn't Google him. You didn't know what he looked like, did you?
No.
Okay. So, and your friend, it was Marlene, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
She was highly recommending him or thinking he was going to be perfect for you?
Well, she grew up with him.
Oh, in
okay.
Beverly Hills area, Bel Air area.
Right. Yes.
Okay. Did you know he had been divorced?
Yes.
At that time, it was a little scandalous to be
But
divorced.
no children.
Well, yes. But it still was a little scandalous to be divorced back then, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So
at that time, yeah.
Yeah. So you're thinking a divorced single guy, not into it. Now, this is still true for a lot of girls today. You kind of go, I don't know, free nice meal. Maybe I'll go on a date. So he eventually called the salon and got you on the phone. And there was a funny anecdote I think you picked up and said.
My customer, which was next.
Yeah.
And so he said, wow, that's great.
Like,
So you had said to your customer who was in the shop, you're next, but
Yes.
he was on the phone and heard that and took that as an opportunity to jump on and be like, great.
Yes.
Okay, that's very funny. Good job, Hal.
Yeah, Hal had
Work
some
in the
game.
moment. Yeah,
Lots of
okay.
game. Okay. So did he actually get you to go on a date after that call?
Well, we met next door to this coffee shop.
Oh, okay.
And so...
Low stakes, coffee shop, not really a date.
Well, there was a lot of men there. A lot.
At the coffee shop, you mean?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Well, it was a restaurant.
Wait, you seem excited by that.
That's a little bit too.
There were so many options.
Hot cream. What's up?
Well, no, it really wasn't a coffee shop, but it was a liquor.
Like a bar?
Yes.
Oh, okay. A bar.
For your podcast, she's like, "Oh, it was a coffee shop," but really, it was just a bar. She didn't want to say that. And the hot men were at the bar, but that's how she rolls.
Okay. So we met, and I was taken by him because he was slim and olive complexion and...
Wait. Who are you describing right now?
I am describing him.
Okay. All right. Okay.
And dark hair and hairy chest.
Wow.
So-
Okay. So this was checking a bunch of boxes for you.
Oh,
The apple doesn't fall far from the tree.
I would describe you as an olive skin color. I'd say green olive.
Oh, interesting.
No, just kidding. I'm totally kidding. But I could see, so because he spent a lot of time out at sea fishing, so maybe he really did have a tan.
So he said to me, well, let's go on a date on such and such. And so I said, fine. So I didn't know where he went to all the time. I thought maybe...
Like you didn't know what he did for work at that point?
No.
Did you make out that first night?
No.
Don't lie.
Well, wait a minute.
No.
She hasn't even
You
gotten
didn't
to the
even
date.
kiss?
No.
Yes, she did. She said she met him at a bar and she was quite taken by him.
Well,
The coffee
obviously they
shop
didn't.
bar.
That wasn't their first date. She's
Well, it
saying that they
really-
went out later. He
Okay.
said, "Okay, should we go out on a date?" And she said yes. So then we'll get the story of whether or not they kissed.
And so we went on a date, and well, it really wasn't a date because I was still on my uniform. I just met him next door.
You wore a uniform at the hair salon?
Yeah,
Oh.
What kind of uniform? What was that?
black and white.
Oh, cute. Was it like a little short? I'm really thinking the 60s, like swinging 60s.
Well, 60s, and the skirt was short and white top.
Oh.
Was this the salon that was super stylized? Wasn't it super cool inside?
It was in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Yes. And so I was still in my uniform. So we met and said goodbye. And so I went home and took a shower and went to bed. And so then the next day, he called to me and said, let's go on a date,
A real date.
a real date.
Now, in the modern day, the rules, Hal should not have called the next day because
Right.
that was really eager of him.
It was real thirsty.
He was really showing his cards. So he was really into you, obviously.
Obviously, yes. And
So then where'd you go on your date?
Oh, we went to a steakhouse.
course you
Oh,
did.
okay.
Yeah, he bought me all the time dinner. And I loved it because every time that I would go out with somebody else, they would say, well, I need a little bit more
Wait,
Money or-
money or sex?
sex.
What? I love it. So wait a minute. When you used to go on dates with guys, so you've had a fancy dinner, and so then they want a little make-out, coochie-cooch,
They want
or
the
even sex
expectation
afterwards.
fulfilled. Yeah.
And that's short-term thinking of a guy, right? That's
Yes.
not him thinking this is
No.
my longtime partner. So you, even if you're into it, you can be having fun, but you're not thinking of the guy the same way. You're like,
No.
all right, we're just going out on a fun date
No,
and
and
fooling
so
around.
I would go in the kitchen and grab whatever I had for dinner that night and give it to him.
Whoa, wait a minute.
Wait, what?
Wait a minute.
I'm lost.
I'm a little confused.
You're still stunned when she said sex or dinner.
It's my mom, so when she says sex, I'm like, okay, what? But yeah, all right. I'm a little thrown.
You've sat there.
But now you're just getting food out of the fridge for
Yeah,
Take-
my date for that night.
for after sex
She-
takeout. I don't understand.
Yeah, so
No, there was no sex.
Okay.
And so I shut the door.
yeah, so
That
here's
was
your
it.
to-go meal. Get out.
Yeah.
Okay, I
You
get
want more? Here's more. Take this food and get out. Is that what you're?
Yes.
Okay, there we
Yes.
go.
You were such a hot commodity. You should have had containers of
Yeah.
like spaghetti to go.
Yeah,
Here you go.
Did you cook all day Sunday just to get in and out of the house?
No, I was making dinner that night and he called. And so I said, fine. So we went out and I thought, okay, I'll have the dinner next day.
Oh, so you're talking the night that you went out with Hal,
No, it's not Hal. It's somebody other guy.
and it wasn't.
other
It
Joe.
wasn't. It wasn't. Well, fine. It was Joe. It wasn't Fred.
Okay.
Because Fred was a nice guy, right?
Oh, definitely.
Okay. We gotta look
Another
at.
coffee house guy.
Well, we gotta look up if Fred's still alive on Facebook, or have you already done that, Jan?
I don't know.
Oh, we got to find that out. Mark is looking at me like, "What
No,
are
we
you
don't.
starting?
Yeah.
I got enough going on with her as it is.
Do you need a new stepfather?"
Look, I want her to be happy. I don't care what she does.
Oh, you're so sweet. Okay, so
Back to Hal. I
Yeah,
mean,
back
we did
to
get a
Hal.
little confused with other guys
Sex for
and their,
dinners.
their expectations.
Take out. Okay,
No, this was with every guy that I went out with.
wanted sex from
And
you.
so
All three of them.
it's,
She probably has a long list. You don't want to hear about it. We get it.
no,
of course.
you don't.
Ooh, okay. All right. So Hal has called you up after your bar date at the coffee shop.
Right.
Cocktails at the coffee shop. Cute. He basically said right away, next 24 hours, didn't do the rules. Jan, I want to take you out for a real date. And you go to a steakhouse and you have a beautiful meal together. Were there martinis? Was there
Espresso martinis for her.
No, espresso
At that
martinis
time,
did
I
not
don't-
exist.
yeah.
They had to blend the
no,
coffee house and
I
bar.
didn't drink at that time.
You didn't drink at that time. Oh.
No.
Really?
No.
So you'd have like a steak and a
I would have a tea or
Coca-Cola.
water.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, all right. So you were of clear mind. So you were really, if you were into Hal, it was true and pure at this point.
Yes.
Now, you're saying you didn't like when a guy took you out for dinner and thought he was going to get lucky afterwards. So Hal's just taking you out for a beautiful steak dinner. Was it just a nice thank you at the door, or was there a kiss goodnight at the door?
There was a kiss goodnight.
Did you instantly feel...
No.
What? You felt
she didn't even let you finish the question. No.
So wait,
Zero.
there was no chemistry. There was no spark.
Oh.
No.
Okay.
Flat out no.
Wow, Mark, how do you even exist?
It's a miracle.
Oh my God. Okay, so you get the kiss at the front door. Your panties don't tingle. Sorry, but so you say goodnight to him. You give him a takeout to go meal.
No.
No Happy Meal.
Not him.
Okay, it's not him. So you say goodnight and you shut the door. Do you think you're going to go out with him again at that point?
I didn't know.
You just sort of felt indifferent.
Yeah.
You were
Okay.
like, nice dinner.
It was.
Okay.
It was a nice date. So.
Okay.
Okay.
Perfect Tuesday night.
Oh, jeez. Okay, so then how long thereafter did the second date happen?
Well, it happened maybe the following week
Okay.
Oh, okay.
because I didn't know where he went all the time.
Like where he went for work or how to track him down.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you didn't really have his contact info.
No.
Okay.
Yeah, well, this was the era of no cell phone, no pagers,
Exactly.
no Google.
Well, and she wasn't
so-
going to be calling him.
This was this the age of the dinosaurs? I'm just kidding. Was this the age of the answering service? Like where you didn't even have.
Well, I had them at one time.
Okay, so
You had to hire somebody to answer your phone, right?
Yes.
Yeah, so that is, you're not easy to find. And at this point, you didn't know what Hal was doing for a living, a job.
No.
Okay.
I didn't know anything about him.
I mean, what were the Q&As at the date? Were you asking him about his family? The first date, did you get...
Yeah, what'd you talk about?
What'd you talk about on that first date?
Well, we talked about just about everything but.
Oh, okay. All right. Light, fun conversation.
Right.
All right. Did you know that he was divorced before you even went on the first
No.
date?
No.
Oh, he dropped that gem on you on the first date or
No, he gradually let me know that he was married.
before?
Was married.
Yeah, it was. Yes, to be clear, he was a very divorced man when you met him. You
Yes.
yes. Okay.
Yes.
Sorry, just to clarify, I thought we established before you even met him for the meeting, before the date, that you knew he was divorced. No?
No.
Oh, okay,
I
there we
thought
go.
Marlon gave you a little heads up on that.
No.
No. All right. Okay. So you so now
I didn't know anything about him.
right. So here about a week later you go on your second date.
Yes.
How
and
does
his sparks fly now.
Well, a little bit better.
Oh, okay, a little bit better. What was the date?
Oh, we went to a steakhouse again.
Oh, I mean, look, these are good moves. I like a steak, so double steak, sure.
And I do remember Hal telling a story of dating you in the early days or even when you were married, you know, in that first year. That one of the things he loved about you is, she could eat. I'd take these girls out on a date and they'd only want to eat salad. But then I take her out and it's a baked potato, a T-bone steak. Oh, he loved that you love to eat.
Yes, I did. I ate salad and a steak and a baked potato.
Oh, 3-course meal.
Oh, I
and a
did.
dessert.
And yes.
Wasn't there one story that you finished his steak?
Yes.
All right.
Many times.
Oh, don't let it go to waste.
Well, I was working all day long, and so I was hungry.
Working girls got to eat.
I weighed about maybe 105.
Oh,
Ooh,
geez.
little thing.
Slim. All right.
And so, I could put it away.
Oh, my God.
Especially if someone else was paying. Go for it.
All right, so now the second date, there's a little more, we're having a little
Yes.
fun here, and there's maybe a little spark. Okay.
Yes.
Now, was this the era that Hal, I remember him talking about he had a convertible car.
No.
No, okay, I won't jump ahead then. Okay. But he did present himself very put together and dapper, right?
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Always.
So then the second date, was there a little more nookie? Was there a little more making out?
Yeah.
And now, was there any sparks?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, good. All right, Mark, thank God.
Icebreaker.
Oh, thank goodness. Okay, but how long did you two date before you got engaged?
6 months.
Yeah, so it was a very quick period, right? Mm-hmm. Now,
Because I said to him, I don't date anyone any longer than 6 months.
with
Wow. Either you make partner or you get shown the door.
And so I would let him go. So that night he went fishing and I didn't know it. Mm-hmm. And so he called me from San Diego and said, let's get married.
That was the proposal? Mm-hmm. A phone call from San Diego with the understanding that 6 months, the clock had run out, so he needed to make this move or he was out the door.
He looked at the calendar on the way down and realized, oh my God, it's been 6 months today. I got to call her.
Today's the day. Shoot.
Yeah, because you had during the 6 months, had you met his family who lived in Los Angeles?
Yes, I did.
Oh.
I did meet Doris and Percy.
And Bob at that point, his
And who
brother.
are those people? I mean, and I don't know.
Well, I met Barbara before I met Doris.
We'll back up a little. Doris and Perk are Hal's mother and stepfather, but really raised him as his father because unfortunately his father, Joe, had passed away when he was really a
14,
teenager.
13.
Yes.
So Perk he changed his name actually to Roman. His name before that was Cohen. Yeah. So it was Harold Cohen. His father, Joe, passed away when he was a teenager. And out of respect for Perk, I think when he was about 18, he was a young adult at that point, right? Him and his brother Bob decided to take the last name Roman out of respect for Perk. So that is how the last name Roman, that's why my last name is Roman and Mark and Jan, so Roman. So Perk and Doris were basically, like I said, Hal's mother and stepfather. Bob and Barbara Bob was Hal's brother and his sister-in-law. So if you're meeting that whole family, that's to feel very serious.
Yeah.
Like he was very serious about you.
Yes, I think so. Whenever I met Barbara and Bob, yes.
You felt like, okay, now...
Well, I didn't feel anything. I just met them, and that was it. So then he took me to his parents, and then it was a little bit more serious.
Just to be introduced to the parents.
Yeah.
And you all got along well? They all liked you?
Yes.
Because you weren't Jewish, and they were a Jewish family.
Well...
Who else do?
None of the boys married any Jewish women.
I know. It's true. And I mean, Mark, you didn't marry a Jewish girl. You married a Catholic girl.
I did.
Yeah. So,
As I'm staring right at you.
but Doris and Perk were very involved in the Jewish community.
Yes,
I think they were Shriners, which is the Jewish organization in LA. Yes. So just in that regard, I mean, I like that she was very welcoming to you. And probably she just wanted her son to be happy after he'd had a bad first marriage. It was like, I want him to find somebody that will make him happy, like most mothers do.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, good. So then, did he meet your family?
Yeah, he did.
Before you were married?
Yes.
Or before you were engaged?
Before I met Barbara.
Oh, okay. All right.
So he took me out there and to Needles, and we visit my parents, and he and Stan, Joanne's
Your sister's husband,
slept in the guest room.
Oh, you couldn't sleep in the same bed together? No way. Okay.
No. My parents would never accept that.
Well, yeah, your parents were very good Christians, so
Very.
no. And you both were not married at that point. So, I mean, I'm just going to ask it, cover your ears then, Mark. Had you, at this point, been having sex with Hal?
Yes.
Yeah, so I would...
Why would I cover my ears?
I don't know, you were so shocked when I asked if they'd make out. So, I didn't know if you could handle it.
I've warmed up to the idea now.
But then after we met my parents, we went to Vegas.
What?
Yeah.
Ooh, a getaway.
Yeah.
And you stayed in the same hotel room.
Yes.
Okay, so did he ask your dad for your hand in marriage, do you think?
I don't think so.
Yeah, he just jumped.
Did he call from San Diego on his fishing trip to ask
He had just a pocket full of change.
Well, wait.
85 quarters in there back then.
So that was the original proposal, the first proposal. Was there a subsequent, like, down on one knee with a ring, or no? We're already engaged, so move along.
No.
Wait a minute. Okay, wait a minute. I do feel like Hal, maybe it's my perspective, but he did seem to have a little romantic bone in his body.
Very much so.
Right. So it does surprise me that he would just realize, as Mark said, oh my God, it's 6 months on the calendar. She's going to dump me today if I don't propose to her. So he calls from a payphone in San Diego and says, yeah, we should just get married. And you say, wait a minute, did you say yes or no over the phone?
I didn't say.
Oh, you left him hanging.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Left him going fishing.
Okay, so
wherever.
he did get on the boat and go fishing.
Yes, he did.
Now, wait
wait a minute. Any guy.
Would he have come home if you said yes?
Probably.
Okay, what I want to know is, and I don't want to know this. I'm going to give a little piece of advice to all men out there in the world.
I know exactly where you're going with this.
Okay, yeah. So sorry.
Because yes, I would have got right back in the car and got you.
Ooh, God, I just got shivers. I love it.
That's
Yeah, I
nice.
taught you well, Mark.
Yep, I've been beat
Okay,
down.
here's the deal.
You mean trained.
Trained.
Oh my God, help us. All I gotta say is, if you want something in life, you got to go after it. So for Hal to be like, oh my gosh, 6 months, he has a big circled date on his calendar, right? And he freaks out. Of course, he doesn't stay in LA. He goes all the way to San Diego, realizes that he's got to call you from a payphone booth. And so hard to get. Gianni was always so hard to get. What do you say when he goes, I think we should get married? What did you actually say?
I don't remember.
But you did not say yes or no?
No. I
Not
didn't.
like I'll think about it
No.
or talk to me when you get back from this dumb fishing trip.
I probably would say think about it.
Now, in a rom-com today, we can all picture it.
Mm-hmm.
He pulls the phone away from his face, looks bewildered,
At his
hangs
friends
it up,
who are hanging out for
puts
the
his
fishing
head
trip.
down on the phone and takes a beat. And then he looks up and he looks out to the ocean, and there are two dolphins playing in the waves. There's two dolphins playing in the waves. And that is the symbol that's him and Jan and their love. And that's it. He opens those phone booth doors and starts running back to LA.
No, he
not
drives
in
to the airport.
Oh, okay, we could drive to the
I don't have
airport.
time to drive there. I got to
Okay,
get there.
right. Okay, gets in his car, and we see the peel out, which definitely, you've got dust and sand kicking up, right? And he takes off. He arrives at the airport. This is pre-security, so he can just run through the airport. We don't have all the.
He's got to get his
We don't
Jan.
have all those things today. So he
She's
just,
thinking about it. He's
And
got to
he-
win her over.
And literally, we have a scene of him talking to probably the stewardess, because it was stewardesses back then, the airline pilot, and as he's leaving, they barely, the plane's barely stopped, and they let him jump out of it. And they all, go, Hal, go!
Go
And
get
then,
Jan!
Of course, there's traffic in LA, and he's in a taxi cab, and he's like, forget it! And he gets out of the taxi cab, and now he's running to her, and he knocks at her door, and she opens the door, and he's like, gets down on one knee, he's like, this is how it's done.
No, she's at a restaurant having a steak with another guy.
Yeah.
Damn
and
it! It
he's
was
on a
6
fishing trip.
months. It was 6 months. He lost out. Okay, so Jan.
So he finishes his fishing trip.
Oh yeah, literally. Sorry, trademark Jan and Hal movie. No one steal this idea. It's brilliant.
Never been done.
Never been done.
No.
It's so original.
No, I was just going to say no.
That did not happen? Damn it. Okay. So, Jan, what was then exactly the official proposal that got you to say yes to him and put a ring on it? Wow, was that memorable?
No.
No.
So, how did you actually get officially engaged? Did it just happen?
Yeah.
You just woke up and it's
Well,
like,
he
well,
came, he came home, and where did you guys pick up when you saw him when he came home?
Oh, well, he took me out for dinner again. And so we just talked, and that was about it.
just sort of agreed, okay, we are going to get married.
Yeah.
God, he just lulled you into complacency over
Beat
a
it
steak.
down.
Jeez.
I
You
mean,
in a
a
food
steak,
coma when
yeah.
you said yes? I mean,
Apparently, steak is magical. So
Yes.
Okay, so from the engagement, from the proposal, how long was it until you actually got married?
That was October, September.
Oh, so only 1 month.
Yeah.
1 month later,
wow.
wow.
Now I'm just going to ask it. Were you pregnant?
No.
Okay. Well, you already were having sex, and at the time, birth control was a little in a fast wedding. I'm not.
Right. It seems like
I'm
it
not
all
being
adds up.
inappropriate. But also, you know what? I will say it wasn't easy to know if you were pregnant back then either. It's like, there was no test, there were no nothing.
Right. It could be a question mark.
Well, there was.
Because what was the date of your wedding?
Let's not jump that far ahead. So September, he asked you agree over a steak dinner to get married. And October, you got married, and you got married in Los Angeles.
Where? How?
at the
Mark, stop counting the months to your birth. You're so annoying. Jan just laughed him. Okay, so wait. Yeah, you got married in Los Angeles. Where did you get married?
I can't think of it
Sportsman
right.
Lodge, was it?
Well,
No.
no.
Bel Air.
Bel Air Hotel.
Yes, yes.
So you got married at the Bel Air Hotel with those beautiful swans, and
Yes.
they weren't dolphins, everybody, but they were
Right.
two beautiful swans. And who was at the wedding?
How did you turn that around so fast? Usually a wedding takes a while to plan.
Not me.
Yeah, I guess. Just we're doing it.
Well, it was his parents and Barbara and the family.
Some
and,
in-laws.
And my parents and Joanne and Lisa.
Oh, your niece and all that. How nice. Okay.
And so we got married, and that was it.
And did you have a reception there, or did you go someplace else for the reception?
We went someplace else.
Was that the Sportsman's Lodge?
No.
Oh, I thought you hit up a lot of iconic places in the
Yeah, I thought it
LA.
was the sports.
No, we went straight to the beach.
Oh,
The beach? Oh.
To see the dolphins who inspired you to get married. No, just kidding. That's so nice. So, I mean, Mark is questioning all
I've never seen a beach picture of a reception. Oh, well, just brush it off.
No.
No, so you don't know everything, Mark.
I guess I don't.
All right, so how nice. And so you weren't living together. How did sort of the moving
No.
together then happen?
No, I wouldn't live with anybody.
So then how did you end up cohabitating with Hal? How did you end up in 1 month time giving up your apartment? And you had a cat, and wasn't he very allergic to cats?
He was, yes.
So how did you get rid of your cat and move into his place? How did this
Oh,
all
did you
happen?
move into his place?
So I tried to find a place for my cat, and because she was so good,
Oh,
Aw.
and she really was.
you must have really loved Hal. Wow. Okay. Once again, the arched brow. If you all, this is one of those ones. Maybe it's better we don't have video. Okay. So, all right. So regardless, you're gonna. What was your cat's name? Do you remember your cat's name?
Dog.
Your cat's name was
the irony
Dog.
of dog. Okay.
Oh,
Anyway, so
amazing.
you had to get rid of your dog cat, your cat dog.
Well, I took him to her to the pound.
Aw.
Well, hopefully she got adopted. Let's all hope.
Hopefully.
Yeah. Okay, so now we're going to move on from that sad story to what I hope is then marital bliss. And you,
I mean, obviously it will be, so.
So did you move into Hal's place then?
No, we found an apartment together.
Oh, you both started fresh. Mm-hmm. And where was the apartment located? Do you remember?
It was off of Doheny.
Oh, right in the heart of LA.
Yes.
Hip happening. Now, were you still working at the hair salon at this point?
Yes.
And now, did you finally figure out what Hal did for a living at this point?
Yes. I
What-
figured it out whenever we were dating. But
Yes.
Yeah, he told me that he went fishing.
Well, yeah, but that was not what he did for a living. That was his hobby. So was he a contractor already at this point?
At that time, yes.
And doing mostly, well, I mean,
He would do contracting all the time.
Right.
But this was his hobby.
right, fishing. Yeah, it was his passion. Always was his passion through his whole life.
Yes.
But and contracting, being a general contractor was the job, the career that he had since you met him. So
Yeah.
that was his lifetime career as well. And he did both residential, meaning homes, and
Yes.
businesses.
Yes.
Right, commercial businesses. So that must have been kind of exciting since, I mean, he did well then, right? I mean, okay, so you had a nice apartment together. Was there talk right away about starting a family?
No.
I mean,
there really
'cause-
wasn't.
So there really wasn't. But did he ask you if you wanted to have kids?
No, he never did.
What? So did you, oh, wait a minute. So did you know if either one of you wanted to have children? Did he want to have kids?
I think so.
Okay.
I think he did, yeah.
You would think, that's what's so interesting. Like, you might want to check that box with the woman you're marrying that she actually wants to have kids too, be on the same page. But you didn't say that you
No.
wanted to. Okay.
No.
He just felt the maternal warm instinct from you. Yeah, I mean, all of us are like, okay. All right. So, but then I won't jump 9 months from now, but I will just say, so you were then living as newlyweds, having a good time. Mm-hmm. How soon thereafter did you discover you were pregnant?
When we got back from Hawaii,
From your honeymoon?
yeah.
Mark, your honeymoon baby?
I'm waiting to hear that. I don't know.
Yes, you are.
Well, that's her story, and she's sticking to it.
Where did you go to? I mean, obviously Hawaii was very successful. There were volcanoes erupting in and outside the bedroom. So where did you go? Where did you go to in Hawaii? What island?
We went to all of them.
Oh, wow, like a tour?
We did. We went to all of them, and then I got sick with the flu.
It wasn't the flu, Jan. You were pregnant.
Yeah, it's pregnancy.
Well, I was sick with the flu.
Called Mark.
Yeah.
Oh my God, Jan, you are classic. Okay, wait a minute. Okay, did you go on fishing boats? Maybe you were a little seasick.
No.
Okay.
How long of a trip was this?
Well, it was just going from city to city and looking around at certain things. And we went and saw the pig being roasted.
Oh, you went to
Like
make
a big
luau.
luau.
Okay.
So like a week, or was it like longer than that?
It was a week.
Oh, okay.
Just long enough to get pregnant. So you come back from your honeymoon with the flu, i.e. Mark, pregnant. So did you find out, like, did you take a pregnancy test like the next week or so?
No, I went to the doctor's and he told me the rabbit was killed.
Oh, back in the
you guys
day.
back. This is way back in the day. Okay, yeah.
So that was just awful to me.
So what? He gave like. What was awful? The news of pregnancy?
No, they had to kill.
They killed a rabbit.
I don't even know.
So
what
that
you're
was
talking about.
awful. to
There
me.
was. It's way before our times, any of us, but there was a test they used to perform
That was the old school pregnancy test.
that was
That's
something
it.
to do with blood, and I mean, I don't want to be misquoted, but and people will still say, "Oh, did the rabbit die?" So it's actually based in a real test they used to do, and it was on rabbits. And if the rabbit died, you're pregnant. So there's still, when people say, "Oh, did the rabbit die?" That is a reference to really a pregnancy
Wow, I
test.
didn't even know
And
this
like I
one.
said, I don't want to try to explain how it went down because
So
I don't
the
know.
doctor killed the rabbit and sent my mom away with a box of smokes.
Oh my, well, people did smoke back then during pregnancies. Okay, so were you just shocked you were pregnant?
Yes, I was.
Were you
Yes.
happy?
Yeah.
I mean, I know he's sitting right here, but we can still be honest, Jan. We can still be honest.
You were
I
thinking
am.
about it.
I am very honest. I
You were
was
happy, yeah.
yeah.
Excited.
But Doris had given us a wedding shower,
Oh, okay, nice.
which was great. And that's whenever I found out that I was really pregnant.
So she gave you a wedding shower or sort of reception after?
Well, it was a reception. Yes.
Okay, so sort of after for everybody.
Yes.
Got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Which, because your wedding was very small, and I know Doris was very social and very active in Los Angeles. It doesn't surprise me that she then would sort of want to have a party
Right.
at her house to celebrate you, which happens, after the fact. You kind of, oh, now we're going to have a wedding party to celebrate it. And she, your in-laws had a fabulous home in, what canyon was it, Mark?
Benedict Canyon.
Yeah.
Benedict Canyon, and it looked over the canyon.
Looked over L.A.
Iconic type of house,
Well,
and it
it's
was
incredible
down the
view.
street from the Manson murder house.
Right.
So it's really in one of those, like I said, it's one of those quintessential Hollywood, LA type of homes. It looks over the whole city and
Yes.
has an awesome flow. I think I went there once with you, and it had a circular driveway, and it really had an awesome flow for a party.
Great flow, huge driveway. It wasn't circular. It was just like a big flat parking lot in front of the
Yes.
house, and then
Wow.
the house,
Okay.
and then the backyard with the pool and the huge views across the city.
Yeah.
It's amazing property.
Yeah, we never should have let that go. Never should have let that go. Youth, bad decisions, but we'll get into that at a later podcast. So how nice. So she throws you a beautiful party to sort of celebrate Mr. and Mrs. Harold Roman. And did you go, and we're having a baby? Did you tell everybody at the party?
No, I didn't say anything.
Did Hal know at this point?
At this point, I think he did. Yeah.
When you
so.
when you told Hal you were pregnant, I mean, did you kind of suspect and tell him I'm going to go to the doctor and find out if I'm pregnant?
No, I just knew I was.
Always so secretive, the Janny. Okay, so when you told him you were pregnant, what was his reaction?
It was great.
I would think so.
But I got a lot of shoulder shrugs with news about me being,
Conceived.
We're happy.
No, I think they were. Oh my God.
Past the steak.
Oh my gosh. So Hal was excited to hear he was going to be a father. I'm sure he was, because how old was
Yeah.
Hal? Was he almost 40 or was he 40?
No, he was 39.
39.
And I was 30.
Okay, yeah. So actually, for the time, that is kind of old to be a parent.
Yes.
Like you guys, people might have thought,
Well, it's old for him.
well, no, actually, for women back then to be 30 and have a baby, you were a little on the tail. I'm not judging you because now, I mean,
Yeah,
God.
you were 20.
I was not in my 20s when I had Ethan. I was much later than that.
Right.
Yeah,
I
no,
was-
we got married when you were 28.
Yeah, I'm like, no. No, and women today, 30 is considered almost like the prime time into the 30s. So no judgment. I'm just saying for the era, like our mother, we've done this podcast with her. She had her first
And her sister.
Yeah. They were having children at like 21 and 22. I mean,
Right.
young.
Yeah.
So for Hal, that had to be kind of awesome to be like, I'm going to be a dad and he's 40 years old and maybe didn't anticipate it, that it was going to happen so quickly. But so the newlywed year became also the year of being pregnant
Yes.
and living in your house.
Yes.
And did you
Well,
stay
I
in the
was-
apartment when you realized you were going to have a child?
I was already in the apartment
Right.
whenever I had Mark.
Oh, so you stayed in that apartment and gave birth and brought little Marky home to the
And
apartment.
then I had Dee Dee.
Oh, really quickly, right? You guys are how far apart? 2 years?
No, I
Year
think
and a
you're
half?
Year and a half. yeah.
Almost
Okay.
2.
Okay.
And so Dee Dee was also conceived in the apartment.
Conceived.
Conceived
I love
not,
that.
not in Hawaii.
Okay, sorry, Dee Dee, not as prestigious. And I mean, obviously, so you were obviously still very happy with each other. You had Mark, who was probably an adorable child.
Were you less or more enthused with your second child, finding out you were having a second child than me?
Oh my God, Dee Dee, you got a severe shoulder shrug. I mean, that was like, and a grimace. It was like, wah. I mean, like, oh my gosh. So wait a minute. Oh my God. So
The nonchalant
thank
kid.
God we don't have video. Okay. So, all right. So you've had Mark. Was the birth easy? Because that was like they knocked you out, right?
Oh, no, they didn't knock me out.
What?
No.
What
was
happened?
Straight birth.
So you were
Where?
conscious.
How?
Did you have any drugs or anything?
No.
You gave natural childbirth?
Yes.
Was that on purpose or by accident? How did that go?
It was by accident.
And I came out
just,
sideways. She didn't scream or nothing.
No, I saw Hal and he fainted on the other side.
Yes. Hal, those of you who don't know Hal, is a drop of blood can get him woozy. So he is
Yes.
that classic rom-con character.
Calm, rom.
Rom-con. Rom-com. He's the classic character where, the wife is the one going through labor and, oh my gosh, and he's all of a sudden faints and all the doctors and nurses and turn toward him, Mr. Roman, Mr. Roman.
And she's
like,
over
"I'm
there
chopped
having this baby."
liver."
Yeah.
Right. Okay, so you're saying that
What
you had
hospital?
natural birth, no painkillers, at what hospital?
At the Burbank Hospital.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. That was not typical for a guy to be in the room at that point. So Hal wasn't in the room when you gave
No,
birth.
he was on the other side of the window.
There was a
Looking
window.
through?
Looking.
What kind of hospital was this? Okay, so you gave birth and it went well, and Mark was healthy, and you came through it. I remember some great story and I had not heard this before. And ladies, listen up, everybody, regardless of background and whatever situation you're in. I'd never heard of a birth gift. So right after you gave birth to Mark, didn't he give you a fur coat?
Oh, yes.
And I was like, what? And yes, he brought it to the hospital.
Oh.
And it was called a birth gift. And I guess in the Jewish tradition, that is normal. Well, the Catholics, as cheapos, I'd never heard of it before. So I was like, Mark, get ready. I would get a damn good birth gift when I was pregnant. So Hal came
Push present.
Push present, yes. So Hal came swooping in. And this was not the era.
Okay. Just
what?
back up a little bit.
Okay, please.
down.
Boop, boop, boop.
The fur coat didn't last until later.
Okay, so it came a
So
little
he
later.
came back with a 5-carat diamond.
Nice.
Where the hell is that now? Oh my God, the mysteries of Jan. Okay,
Damn it. What's going on here?
okay, so, and you have to understand, back then, and I'm sure this very loose rules Burbank Hospital, you could literally have a cocktail and a cigarette right after giving birth, basically, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
How many did you have?
I didn't have any.
No, I mean, I'm not saying you did, but there are pictures of our mother like in the birth room practically having a cigarette. So it depends on the era and the hospital, but you really could, because it wasn't considered a bad thing. It was not, women drank and smoked through their pregnancies, and it wasn't totally poo-pooed on. It wasn't till much later.
I never drank.
That is why
And
Mark
so-
is so intelligent.
He's so sharp.
sharp.
Wow. Just nothing.
But what about
Nothing
what about
going on in my
smoking?
head right
there
now.
was smoking.
I did
though.
smoke, and so I.
Oh, that explains
well,
it.
There it is. That's the equalizer.
On the first floor, he said to me, "Could that be your last cigarette?"
Oh, the doctor?
No. How?
Hal. Yeah, because Hal was never a smoker, so
No.
he didn't like that you smoked.
No, he didn't.
On the first floor. What do you mean the first floor?
Well, we lived upstairs, the first floor, and then we moved downstairs.
Oh, in your apartment situations. Like, so when you moved, he was like, hey, how about no smoking in the apartment?
No, we had no furniture, so we laid on the floor.
Naked?
What?
This is such an image I'm trying to create here, but like, I mean, it's like, why do you have? And you're just, wait,
Where's
it's
the
back to the
furniture
rom-com. Now you're eating out of just a pizza box on the floor with a bottle
Where am
of
I at
wine
this point?
in her belly. I don't know.
Yes,
Okay.
and so
All right. I didn't know if I had my own cardboard box.
well, you were born on the second floor, and so
Are we at the hospital or in the apartment?
What's that song? My name is I live
Lu-
on the,
the
my
second
name
floor.
is Luca. I live on the second floor. Okay, okay. Let's get wait. Let me back
Okay,
up.
where are we? We're in an
I'm going to
apartment?
back up past your backup. So here's the deal. So you were living as just newlywed couples on the first or second floor.
second floor.
Okay, on the second floor. Then when you basically had Mark, or at what point did you move to the first floor?
I had Mark on the first floor.
Okay, so you moved at some point to the first floor, and during that move transition, you lost all your furniture,
Yeah.
and you had no furniture, and Hal asked you to stop smoking.
Yes, up there on the second floor.
And I don't listen. I remember even as a kid, occasionally in the Cadillac with all the windows rolled down, you would have a cigarette. So you didn't completely. Yeah, look at her. You didn't completely stop. I mean, and they'd be like, "Don't tell your father," and we'd all be in the back seat, like, "Okay." So he asked you to stop smoking, and so probably you smoked while you were pregnant. I mean, because that.
no,
Oh, you did not.
No.
Okay, and you did not
Oh.
drink.
no.
Oh, Mark, so you should be a freaking genius. What happened? Okay, so you did not smoke or drink through this whole pregnancy. So, Mark, you should be a genius, but you were born healthy. And the push gift that Hal ran to the hospital with was a 5-carat diamond ring, which we have never
Wait,
heard
wait,
before.
wait,
Well, okay,
wait,
yeah, wait.
Yeah.
So when he took me to the hospital in Burbank,
Yeah.
he didn't have any money,
Cash.
cash or checks or anything.
Okay.
So he went to Barbara and asked her for $100 so he could
Just
pay
check
for
you
it.
in, basically?
Yeah.
So Aunt Barbara had to give the cash for you to be able to even go to the hospital?
So legally, Barbara is always saying you belong to her.
Oh. Well, I mean, I'm sure hospitals operated very differently back then. So,
Yes,
yeah, they
yes,
wanted
they
payment
did.
up front. Okay.
Yes.
You only cost $100, Mark.
What a bargain.
Yeah. All right.
were.
So then you come home and you have the first year with Marky and everything's wonderful. Are you working at this point? Did you
Was
go-
everything wonderful? How was it as a kid?
You didn't
No,
breastfeed,
it
did
wasn't-
you?
No.
Bottle fed. That explains it. No. It was- his,
What are you looking
his
for?
boob obsession. No, I'm just kidding.
Wow.
Okay. So anyway, so you did not go back to work. Were you just at home with Mark?
Yes.
Okay, so you're at home with Mark, and I mean, was he a good baby? Was he colicky? Was he annoying?
No, he was
Aw.
not colicky at all. He was great.
Aw,
just
there you
like our
go.
kid.
Well, it actually is pretty on trend for you. You are pretty an even keeled dude, and you are pretty, you don't really throw tantrums now.
Meh.
Yeah, I mean, exactly. So, did you live in an area that you would take him on walks to the park and?
No, because it was close to Beverly Hills and La Cienega.
Oh.
I didn't. If I did anything, it would be within the block.
Okay. I mean, there were no car seats back then, so would you just
No,
throw him in the
there wasn't.
bassinet in the car and take him
Wow.
places?
No, I just set him in my lap.
Oh my gosh, set him in your lap. Well, you are
Yeah, I
lucky.
got to steer the car. I remember that.
We're all lucky to be alive.
So whenever Dee Dee was born, she is in my lap, and Mark was in the back seat.
Oh.
But Hal happens to look around a lot.
While he's driving, distracted.
Yes.
Okay.
And so he saw this gorgeous blonde on the other side.
Wait, he's looking at other women?
Yes.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Well, that's Hal. He's always looking at women.
I don't think I knew that so much.
Well, yeah.
I'm very quiet over here.
And, and so I said, Hal, stop. And so he did. And whenever he did, Mark come flying into the front seat.
Oh, no.
And hit his forehead.
Oh my God, this explains so much.
Didn't he bump the car in front of him? Didn't he crash into the car in front of him a little bit? Just a bump?
No, he didn't.
Oh.
He slammed on the brakes. And you hit the dashboard.
Okay.
From the
This
back
little
seat.
toddler from the back seat.
Oh, jeez.
I mean, did that curb his wandering eye at all?
At least during driving.
I think it did.
I mean, it was
Okay.
killed his child.
Probably didn't.
Okay, so now just 18 months later, you are staying at home with Mark, who's a wonderful baby, and you find out 9 months later that you're basically pregnant with Dee Dee.
Yes.
And you're excited again, right?
Yes.
Another rabbit.
No, let's do a really excited. You're excited for Dee Dee, right?
Well, I was excited
Oh my
for
God,
both
she's
of
still
them.
not.
Oh my
Okay,
gosh.
great, fine. Yes. Okay, so now I think we should stop here because Dee Dee really wrecked the whole world. Let's be honest. I'm totally joking. We love you, Dee Dee. Okay, so I think we should stop here because now really the Roman family is coming into full focus. So let's maybe pause here because I feel like Dee Dee's gonna bring in a whole new chapter, right? Okay,
Yep.
so. I mean, Jan and the gems. I mean, there's so much awesome stuff here as usual. It's an honor to have you here. We're so happy to hear this story and learn all these really interesting facts, especially about your sexuality. I'm just what you can take away from this, I truly do love my mother-in-law and we have a great relationship, so I can have these type of conversations. So I am #blessed. So I want to thank everybody for listening to this episode of Family Dynamics, and especially thank you, Jan and Mark, for joining us today.
Yes.
And we'll have you back soon because Jan, we got a lot of positive reactions having
Oh.
you in.
Yeah.
Yeah, and maybe you'll actually listen to it. Okay, so thank you for listening to Family Dynamics. You can follow us on all of our social, which is at Family Dynamics with a K, and we truly appreciate it. Once again, thank you for listening to
Family Dynamics.